Number 8, the graph above shows the speed distribution of molecules in a sample of gas at a certain temperature, which the following graph shows the speed distribution of the same molecules at a lower temperature. So lower temperature should indicate lower average kinetic energy, aka the molecule should be moving at a much slower rate, right? So this is the whole Boltzmann distribution curve, which basically shows how many molecules are moving at what speed. So let me just kind of give you an idea of the original. Original right now, you can think of it as this many peak number of molecules are moving at around this much speed. Now, the question says lower temperature, aka the speed must be a lot slower. So in terms of that peak right here, in terms of this peak, I want the new peak to be somewhere to the left of the original, not to the right. So not here, it should be to the left because once again, the speed should be a lot slower. So let's check that first. So if you look at choice A, well, it's to the right of it. And once again, that is wrong. It should be to the left because it's lower temperature, meaning it should be much slower in terms of its speed. If you take a look at choice B, well, they're literally under the same speed, which is absolutely wrong too. And then choice C, well, once again, that peak versus that peak. That's the original. This is a new. That's a no-no. It should be to the left. And if you take a look at it, D is the only one where that was the original. And then your new one now sits right there, the peak. And as you can see, well, the speed is to the left of the original, aka it's a lot slower. And that makes sense because we're at a lower temperature, meaning the speed should be a lot slower. Now, in terms of the higher peak, if you want me to explain why it's at a higher peak, this is how you can interpret it in English language. Well, before, this many number of molecules were at this speed. Now, even more molecules, so many more molecules are at even lower speed. And that makes perfect sense because if you're at a lower temperature, you should have a lot more molecules at much lower speed. So that's why it should be answer choice D.